lack of a
Well,
better
keep in
word.
mind, we're not judging. Let's not judge whether they're good or bad. Let's only recognize what they are. So a desire is typically something that we're calling to us, right?
Yes.
It's I think of it as, are we magnetically want to find it and want it to come into our life, or are we, like, with all of our being, don't want to have to deal with it, right?
Right.
I'm averse to having, like, people that I love have bad things happen to, right?
Yeah, of course.
I've got some brothers who have some speed problems with their cars, right? They tend to drive fast and I don't have children. However, I think about that, and I think about my niece, like, driving those cars. I'm like, oh my God, I just pray that she's responsible,
Yeah.
and I just, that's the closest I get to those things. It doesn't feel very good.
Mm-mm.
So what I talk to my clients when they're going through, if I may take you through this thing,
Sure.
I desire to be a millionaire. Or let's just say I desire to not go to jail.
Mm. Different.
Right. Well, let's talk about I desire to not go to jail. Is that a desire or an aversion?
I think it's an aversion.
I think that you don't know what it is, because I think you
I was
use
going to
it.
say both. Really?
It's not possible to be both. The problem is we're using the wrong words with the wrong intents.
Well,
We're
I
not,
mean,
we're
I
not
would say,
we're not lining up words with intents. Go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, I think it would be, I desire to not do behavior that's going to land me in jail.
Well, you're talking about that. I'm just talking about the phrase itself, the phraseology. I appreciate the fact that you're making it more clear. The problem is some people don't make it that clear. They don't stop at that. They stop at the I desire to not go to jail. The point here is that if our subconscious is paying attention to the things that we find that we have our deepest beliefs and biases. Remember, we talked about the reticular activation system. 4 things. Name. You and I are talking. If you have loved ones out there, people that know about you, Melissa, right? Charlie, Melissa. It's like your consciousness splits in half, and I tend to be very, entertaining. I'm not, not a terrible person to talk to. However, it doesn't matter how good this conversation is. Your subconscious almost, it's like taps us on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I have this piece of information for you," and it gives you this, like, sensory receptor recording that's not really your name. It's just a sensation memory,
Mm-hmm.
and then you almost you like fall back into the memory of the sensations to determine what was the tone of the voice that said it.
Right.
You know what I mean? What was the context? What was the intonation? And then we make a decision, and we come back and say, "Charlie, I'm back. Sorry, what did I miss?" Or, "Excuse me, I'll be right back." Right? So, name, sex. When we are with that person that we live with, that we're intimate with, we walk in the door and we know that's on the table. And it's something about that, right?
Right. For sure.
3, danger. And you talked about it on the boardwalk or wherever you were running, right? Danger of not just physical harm. I believe there's also a danger of abandonment and exile. Memories of abandonment and exile are deeply, deeply ingrained. And we're not talking about those. 4th is deep belief and bias. So now when we take these mindsets and desires, those things become the thing that we program subconscious to start paying attention to, because we tend to do it over and over and over and over again, right? Especially things that we ruminate on. So looking at this, I desire to not go to jail, I think, confuses our subconscious, because we don't know if it's a desire or a fear, because we're telling to not, but we're using the word desire, right?
Right.
And so I think it's actually confusing to subconscious, and it doesn't know what we're looking for. Because we're only getting 5 to 10% of the 28.4 to 74 gigabytes that our subconscious is processing, right? So let's agree that that's the case. And this is kind of where I learned this becomes this concept of metacognition. Like, how can I look at my thoughts and not be my thoughts?